Have you seen this? Well, I have, but only as a wallpaper. Isn't this beautiful? But at the same time, it urges us to think who brought these massive standing stones here. This is called Stonehenge. It was built approximately 4,000 to 5,000 years ago, and scientists say that this was a part of larger sacred landscape. Stones. Well, the bigger stones at the Stonehenge are known as Sarsens. They weigh approximately 25 tons on average and widely believed to have brought from Marlborough Downs, which is 20 miles away from Stonehenge, according to the English heritage. There are smaller stones as well, and people say that when those smaller stones are wet or freshly broken, they give a bluish tinge. That's why they are called blue stones. They are reported to brought from quarries in Preselli Hills in West Wales, which is about 140 miles away from the Stonehenge. Reports say that the Stonehenge is a part of larger landscape that contain many other stones and wooden structures, as well as the burials. Well, before the monument was built, or you can say erected, the area was a hunting oasis during the Mesolithic era. This was said by a 2022 study in journal PLOS ONE. Interesting part is that there are holes more than 3,000 pits near Stonehenge, which dates back to more than 10,000 years. Mike Pearson, a professor of British prehistory at University College London, wrote that as early 10,000 years ago, three large pine posts were erected at the site of Stonehenge, now sits on are likely for ceremonial purposes. But no one can say for certain who built this monument, why, and how exactly. This is a mystery which has really small answers. Let's try to understand it a bit more today. Building Stonehenge. By looking at it, almost every person can say that it was built in several stages. In about 3000 BC, a circular ditch was constructed around what would be Stonehenge, along with a series of 56 holes. Those holes are sometimes called Aubrey holes because they were discovered by John Aubrey in 18th century. It's unknown how people at the time moved the bluestones to Stonehenge. Experiments conducted at University College London in 2016 showed that a 1-ton stone could be moved by 10 people on a wooden track. But was this the technique actually used by the prehistoric builders? It's uncertain. It's possible that pig lard was used to grease and any sleds that moved the stones. Around 2500 BC, people erected a series of Sarsen stones on the site in the shape of horsehair, with every pair of these huge stones having a stone lintel connecting them. If you look at Sarsen and try to imagine what they would look if their tops connect each other, it gives the shape of a giant. There is another stone as well, which is called the altar stone, which was placed between the circle or horseshoe, but what exactly altar shoe was used for is also uncertain. Two circles of blue stones between the circle of Sarsens and Sarsens are in the shape of horseshair. This is what Stonehenge construction looked like. According to the English heritage, around 2300 BC, an avenue was built connecting River Avon with the Stonehenge, and that would be the last major construction phase that took place at Stonehenge. As time went on, the monument fell into neglect and disuse. Some of its stones fell over while others were taken away. Who built Stonehenge? That is a bigger question. But looking at it, you know, researchers have gave us a number of clues about the people who can possibly build a structure like this. Reports say that some of these people may have lived near the monument in a series of houses and in Durrington, a nearby Neolithic settlement, and that later sported a henge. According to food remains found at the site, the people who lived at Durrington Walls feasted on meat and dairy products, which suggests that they were likely not slaves or coerced. It's not clear which group or of states the people who built Stonehenge were affiliated with. It was built long before writing was used in Britain, making it hard to determine the political point of view of that point on Stonehenge. Many people affiliate Stonehenge with Druids, mysterious religious leaders in ancient Britain. However, the Druids did not build Stonehenge. The site was constructed roughly 4,000 to 5,000 years ago, while the earliest records mentioning Druids dates back to the 2,500 years. Despite this evidence, modern-day Druids often associate with Stonehenge, flocking on the site on summer solstice. However, the ancient Druids died out around 1,200 years ago and were not revived until about 300 years ago. Why was it built? This is the most famous prehistoric monument in the world, but the structure is mysterious as to why and how they were constructed. Many theories were put forward. One theory says that the Stonehenge marks the unification of Britain, a point when people across the island worked together and used a similar type of houses, pottery, and other items. It would explain why people at the time were able to bring stones from other regions of Britain and how they could marshal enough labor and resources for the construction. As you can say by looking at the structure, a structure like this would require labor of thousands to move stones from as far away as West Wales, shaping them and erecting them. Just the work itself, requiring everyone literally to pull together, would have been an act of unification. Pearson said this in 2012 statement. Another theory is that Stonehenge may have been used as a solar calendar, with the stones laid out to represent 365.25 days in a year. This was proposed by Timothy Well, a professor of archaeology at Bournemouth University in UK, in 2022 article published in Antiquity. Also, human burials have been found within and near Stonehenge, raising possibility that Stonehenge may have been used as a burial ground, although most scholars argue that it had a broader purpose than that. But ultimately, Stonehenge purpose, how and why it was built, and how people were able to bring those stones to this place is still a mystery. And by the looks of the research, we can say that it will remain a mystery. There are no other clues found which can give us certain statements on how and why it was built. This is it. If you have different thoughts, please share your thoughts in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.